Hey everybody, Lucas Haneman here. How you guys doing? Welcome to this week's episode of Guitar Tone Tuesday. And a very special thank you to everybody who watches the show. This past Wednesday, we made it past 1,000 subscribers, which is, a relatively small landmark in the world of YouTube, but to me it means so much. It really means we can start to grow this channel in a big way. So thank you so much to all of you, whether you're new or you're a die-hard, watcher of this show. I really, really appreciate you guys watching it. It really means a ton to me to hit 1,000 subscribers and now pass it. So thank you so much. So a couple weeks ago, there was a very sad landmark, but substantial. It was 50 years ago, about 2 weeks ago, since Jimi Hendrix passed away. And I wanted to do an episode to talk about Hendrix, but also to celebrate his birthday, which is coming up in November, and to talk about the Univibe pedal. Now, just like pretty much every single guitar player who's alive right now, Jimi Hendrix has inspired me deeply. And, the one thing about Hendrix that I think is very hard for anybody else to come close to is his energy and his attitude. I really feel like there was a certain, go for it persona that he had, and there was nothing that was going to hold him back. He was just sheer confidence, and he brought that to the stage. And the other thing that was amazing about Hendrix is that it was never the same thing. It was always inspired. It was always different. It was always certainly something ferocious and full of energy. And that's something about Hendrix that's really inspired me. I really, really love that. What do I love about the way Hendrix plays? I mean, there's so much. If I just turn off this Univibe for a second, and go to a clean sound. I love his thumb over technique, you know. So when he does the the thumb over thing is really cool. It allows you to get more notes in your chords than you usually would, and it's something that I've used a lot in my own stuff. I mean, I use it in this this tune. It's called Waiting at Your Door, and a little Hendrix inspired. So I love that thumb over thing. I also love the chord inversions that he played, specifically these first inversion chords. So like if you're playing, and then like it's basically like you're playing instead of playing like an A-shaped chord, you're playing like a G-shaped chord, but leaving off the root. So I love that idea of like basically you're starting where this chord ends and playing an inversion. It's really, really nice. You can also do it on like a full major chord off the low E string. So I love Hendrix's rhythm playing, you know, and the other thing I love is, you know, especially in that Band of Gypsies era, you hear a lot of this kind of a thing where he's using his thumb over technique, but he's playing, you know, more melodies at the same time and incorporating some chords into it. Something that I use a lot, and I really, really love that. Okay, so there's so much about Hendrix. You know, it's his attitude. It was his just his amazing talent, of course. But you know, the fact that for a myriad of reasons, when you went to a Jimi Hendrix show, I'm sure you always heard something different. And I feel like it was the type of band where, you know, not everything was planned out at all. I feel like sometimes they didn't even have a set list, and you know, depending on how Hendrix was feeling. You know, they would certainly play all kinds of different stuff, and I really, really like that, and that to me is like it's a perfect situation. Okay, let's talk about the Univibe pedal. So Univibes came out in and around 1968. They were initially manufactured by Shanae, but they were also manufactured by Univox, distributed to the United States. And basically, it's a 4-stage phaser with a bunch of resistors and a pulsating light bulb, which causes this kind of syrupy, warm, luscious, delicious sound here. So if I turn it on, it's right now it's set to like a slow speed, which is really, really, really nice for the clean thing. It does a lot of like that sound. You know, really, really does that really well. And I love it as well. Like you heard, I was kind of really going for that Band of Gypsies kind of vibe in the intro there with you know, a little bit of overdrive. So you hear the you know, that machine gun type vibe, you know, so I love it for that. Actually, interestingly enough, this is, I think, the first effects pedal I ever got, this Univibe right here. I got it when I was either 12 or 13 for Christmas. And I you know, I don't use it enough, but I love it, you know. And I'm going to show you guys later. There's a way I like to use it, which isn't at all like the Hendrix thing as well. So that's a slow setting. Here's a faster setting. So really good for the kind of funky stuff. And let's go to kind of a medium tempo. A bit more intensity. Well, I have to do this, guys, because I'm wearing a red and white shirt and I'm playing a red guitar. Etc., etc. I am a Canadian. I love being a Canadian. But yeah, I mean, that always reminds me of when you played the national anthem at Woodstock, that kind of medium tempo, with a lot of depth in the sound. So I love that. I love that. I love the Univibe pedal. An interesting fact about the Univibe pedal is that it was initially made to sound like a rotating speaker. So what they call a Leslie speaker, which, lots of B3 players use. And it's actually kind of a failed experiment because it has this really soft, gushy kind of sound, I guess I would say, whereas the Leslie has a more in-your-face type sound. And actually, I have on my pedal board a Strymon Lex, which was made much more recently. This is made about 6 years ago, and it's really simulating that Leslie speaker thing really well. So let's just compare. So here's the slow speed on the Univibe. And just turn off my overdrive there. Okay. A little out of tune. So was Hendrix lots of the time too. Okay. And then let's go to the slow setting on this Strymon Lex. Okay, slow setting. Here we go. You see, you hear a little bit less of that whooshy sound. I'll keep playing that, but I'm going to switch back to the Univibe. You see, a very different sound for sure. Now if I go back to the Strymon Lex, which is the Leslie simulator, but to a fast speed, you're going to hear it's much more intense, much more kind of in your face. Same kind of thing, but on the Univibe fast setting. Different sound, a little bit less output, I would say, from the Univibe, but really, really interesting. Of course, they sound related, but a bit of a failed experiment, I would say, but a very good failed experiment with the Univibe pedal. Finally, before I let you guys go, I'm just going to show you guys one of my favorite ways to use the Univibe pedal, which is very non-Hendrixy. I like putting on some tremolo and a lot of kind of atmospheric reverb with a slow setting on this Univibe to get something very different. So I like this kind of a thing, for a textural guitar part. So I love using it for kind of beautiful sounds like that. Of course, as well as the funky thing and all that too. So that's about it for this week. I wanted to talk about Hendrix and, you know, where the inspiration lies for me. I mean, huge influence on me as a guitar player. And as I say, a big part of it for me that I don't hear a lot of people talk about is that energy and that attitude. And it's really hard to replicate that. You know, there's a few guitar players who have. I really feel like Jeff Healey got there as well. There's many of us who try to, but I just think, you know, he was a force of nature, and I absolutely adore Hendrix. So in the comment section below this week, I want you guys to let me know, what is your favorite Hendrix tune or album? Personally, I'm partial to the Band of Gypsies, though I love all of it. But please do let me know, okay? That's about it for this week. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, ring that bell. We'll see you guys and girls again next Tuesday.